Okay, good enough.
Back at it with the awkward intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This felt higher than usual, but yeah.
All right.
All right, so we're back with some hot cubing drama news.
Yeah.
The Yihang record was reinstated.
Yeah, the 2x2 world record. For those who don't know, Yihang Wang got a sub-1 2x2 average. It was the first in the world. Then there was an issue with the last solve, and the judge had lifted the cover before Yihang said he was ready. Then there was debate on whether or not he requested a extra before or during inspection or after, and then they disqualified that result, which meant that he didn't get the world record average. And then now, a couple weeks later now, maybe about a month, I guess WCA is kind of coming back around to it and doing a more thorough investigation.
Kind of late.
It is. It seems like it took a while to do. I get it was kind of a quick thing to disqualify the solve, but also we're kind of coming back to it well after the drama is already kind of come and gone. And it's weird because they reinstated the record before they made any sort of announcement for it. So people are now left kind of speculating. As of right now, I don't think they've said anything. There's a lot of speculation and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I see it discussed all over various cubing groups and everything. And
right.
It's very interesting how divided the opinions are on this.
Mine is, if he legitimately requested an appeal or requested an extra during inspection or before the solve during inspection, then yeah, there's really not a problem. He requested an extra before he did the solve. It's fine. However, I don't think he did. I don't think you can just request one to your judge. You can't just be I want an extra solve. I think you have to tell that to a delegate, in which case he would kind of stop what you're doing, which I don't think he did, if I remember correctly. But if he did legitimately request an extra before he did the initial solve, it's fine. But as far as I know, I don't think he actually did.
Yeah, I don't know. My opinion is sort of the same as last time, which is, I don't even remember, quite honestly. I really don't. I
mean, it's essentially just if he requested one before he did the solve, cool. If he requested after he did the solve, it's a little sketchy because it's okay, I got a bad solve.
Yeah. Again, the more it's coming back to me, and I am just exhausted today, but yeah, I feel like my sentiment was just essentially if he did say that he wants, or he said that he wasn't, I don't know, I don't even know if you just said it, so I was zoned out for a second. Did you hit on the fact that he allegedly said he wasn't ready during inspection, and then the cover came off?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then I think that he shouldn't have even completed the attempt.
Right. I would have just straight up asked the delegate right then and there before doing the solve.
Yeah, you definitely should not have completed the solve, and that's what kind of adds to the whole controversy. But yeah, I guess the rule of thumb is just if you know something is wrong, don't complete the solve, and then get the sixth one, because it leads to this whole oh, well, were you testing waters to see the fifth one was actually okay? I don't know. Again, the whole thing stinks that it's this convoluted, but I guess I don't want to say it doesn't matter and take that from him, but I guess the only saving grace maybe is that it doesn't change the outcome of what the current world record
right, because
average is.
Kanani, I think the next day or the next weekend, ended up beating that time with a 0.92 instead of 0.93.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess just a learning experience, and I do feel like that's the thing with the WCA being, I don't know, some of the I think some of it is, some of the regulations are possibly, I don't know, maybe a little too subjective, the interpretation. I know there's definitely things where, I think I was talking to Sam about this maybe, and he had mentioned that it can literally sway a result based on a delegate's judgment call on something. And I guess that's what it is. It's judgment, and with cubing, it can be so subjective, and there isn't always a way to have like a black and white decision on things, and it's a volunteer organization, nonprofits. Like it's not like I don't know. I'm not saying it's not professional, but I guess there's always room to improve with everything. But it just is a shame that there's even controversy with it to begin with. I guess is what I'm trying to say. It would be nice if there was a way to have it more black and white. I just don't know if that's realistically feasible right now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of another world record, this one is actually
Moyu for the most 3x3s released ever.
Oh yeah, we could do that. But there's a new clock world record, which is actually really impressive. Someone I don't know at all. I don't know if anyone else like who's really into clock knew who they were, but I sure didn't know like anything about them. But let's see, the exact time was a 2.52 world record average, which is faster than the previous world record single.
Yeah, man, this guy just
came out of nowhere.
Full training montage.
Yeah. and then his world record single is a 2.4.
Well, then, then Max Park with the new 4x4 world record. I don't even think
6x6 or 7x7 as well.
Yeah, it's just so weird how the records are just getting broken more frequently, and that's where it comes back to my whole comment last A-Week about the third decimal point, and I don't know. I just really wonder at what point is just the record not going to be breakable anymore for some of these
Especially
events.
with like clock, after the new regulations and, being able to move the pins in inspection, times have dropped significantly since the new year.
You can move pins in inspection?
Yeah, so you can't move any of the dials, but you can like move the pins.
How does that even make sense?
It's the main idea for it is that like one, you don't have to use any like special covers to prevent it like falling over in the pins, like the pin order getting messed up. But it's more of a convenience thing for like organizers and delegates. So it's just like less extras to hand out. Because if it falls over, as they like lift the cover or whatever.
See, I get it, and I know I've seen like the 3D printed clock covers every once in a while, but I feel like they took away magic from me, and it's like figure it out. Either do it the right way, or just get rid of clock.
Right
there. Let's just do it. I know I was joking with someone in the comments on the last one about magic, which like in all seriousness, I mean it's such a quick event. It's like. I don't know. I mean, if people stop registering for it, then I guess that's an indicator that get rid of it. But like, I haven't really cared enough to like go back and look at competitions to like what the ratio of people registering for it really was.
Well, I mean, like even at our competitions, like we don't like go really far out of our way to be like, hey, sign up for Magic, but it's a surprisingly good amount of people who just like happen to see the link and they're like, oh yeah, I'll sign up for it.
Especially considering most current keepers probably don't even own a Magic.
Right.
So they go out of their way to like purchase one.
Right. Like they'll like even at the competition, they'll like purchase one and then quickly learn it and try it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, again, so I don't know, this is making my brain hurt, but like if you can now move pins, I get regulations change, but then previous record holders or people that may have had a record, I mean, I don't know, how much is the pins moving, like, I guess, realistically?
I mean, apparently it must do a lot because since the new regulation, times dropped very quickly. Yeah,
it just seems like that's the problem with regulations and stuff. I get it, they changed everything, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong for having the sentiment, but it just kind of seems like it would be, I guess the answer is just no matter what you do, you're always going to upset somebody.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I mean, that's how I feel about running the website. Like, is no matter what you do, someone's always going to be disagreeing or upset, which actually kind of leads into like, I wanted to talk about we're selling these nanoblocks, Bandai stuff.
Yeah.
Car models. So it's been like, essentially, the whole logic here is that I enjoy these kinds of products, and I think that there is crossover. But it's like, I don't know, I like it, and what's the harm in throwing it up on the website? And if people like it,
Yeah.
they like it. If they don't, they just keep on browsing.
Yeah, so now we have more than just cubes. Like some of the model kits and stuff are like really cool. We ordered a bunch of them recently, and they actually came pretty quickly. We were kind of surprised, but there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I don't know.
It just takes so long to list because
yeah.
I don't know, and I've had to delegate that responsibility. So it's not like a super priority for us, but we are expanding the catalog. It's really cool stuff, but that's what I mean about making people happy. Some people go out of their way to complain about it, which everyone's right to their own opinion. But
right.
I don't know. I just feel like the name is SpeedCubeShop. The logo is a cube.
We do predominantly.
We're very clearly still a speed cube.
Right. This is just something we wanted to
It's
throw
a passion
in.
project.
Right. It's just something cool that we kind of just decided to throw in there because Cameron thinks it's neat. I think it's neat. I'm sure
everybody likes it that sees it in person. That's the thing.
Right.
And I mean, lots of cubers are also car people too, which is interesting. So it's just I don't know, just trying stuff and seeing how it goes. There's another product line that we're a product type that we're also going to be expanding into. So we'll see how that goes. But I just figure we have such a refined website, may as well utilize it versus starting from scratch. Especially when it's also interesting that I noticed that for the Gundam kits, there will be websites called for example, GundamKits.com, which maybe that's a plug for an actual website. I don't know. Hopefully not. But they'll sell other stuff like Pokemon and I don't know. It just seems I don't know. People just kind of sell whatever they can get their hands on, which maybe isn't the best strategy, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully it.
Hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it will.
It's just cool. I just want to have a feasible excuse to be able or not feasible. I want to have an actual excuse to be able to continue to stock it and stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully it sells. So the first batch we did all sold out. It just then COVID all happened and stuff, and it was really hard to get, and then we flooded, and that was also a problem.
Oh God, the flood.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, I know I said the situation stabilized, but it has not. It has not. This is what the situation devolved into. 2 holes in the wall. That's still kind of leaking, but sustainable. We got about an inch of water. All this inventory. Oh, damn. Yeah, this is what you call a great day.
Yeah, that was unpleasant. So
it kind of damaged some of the boxes. The items themselves, I don't think they sustained any.
No,
damage
just the boxes. So pretty
yeah.
much we gave away a bunch of free stuff to our team.
Yeah.
Just hey, you want
There's
this?
some cool stuff in there. So.
Yeah. But excited about that. And then I don't know, just these new cubes that are coming out, we have the new Meilong V2, which I have to say,
it's ridiculously long name on the original Moyu post.
I don't know if that was actually the name. I think it was a weird marketing thing that you may have misinterpreted because
maybe, but I don't know,
because
knowing the names that companies come up with now, it's very possible that could be the name, but it also could just be some marketing thing.
I don't know. When I look at the marketing stuff I got, it says Meilong V2 something strikes, and then there's another line. So I think maybe you missed the second line. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But the point is, it's just it's good. It's interesting that the UV coating feels almost softer and more gel.
It feels
type.
almost thicker too.
Yeah, it feels like if you squeeze hard enough, it'll actually indent a little bit. It actually feels like the UV coating that we had produced here in house. So that's kind of interesting. The cube is good though. I mean, the corner cutting wasn't great out of the box, but it's a Meilong.
It's weird.
Cheap.
It's tight and loose at the same time. Which we have a video in the process of being made, which will go into that a little bit further. It's definitely interesting. It's the one of the cheapest UV coated cubes next to the Diansheng 3x3, which isn't as good.
What's actually interesting is the UV coating price increase is getting to be less expensive as time goes on, which doesn't really surprise me because technology does improve, but it is just interesting that we're UV coating budget cubes at this point. Yeah, because it's
I really don't think we need to. I'm sure there's a lot of people who really love UV coating and probably are a big fan of this. But for me, UV coating's nice. But even if we got rid of it, I would not be disappointed.
Well, it's just like, again, what's so exhausting, like, you could literally, I think, see on my face, 'cause I was like listing them. 3 versions. We have the light version, which, do you even know about that one?
No, I don't.
Yes, there's a light version, which is a just standard box with a tab and,
so
and
like
no
no
screwdriver.
magnets and stuff?
Like, yeah, no.
So just
it's
nothing.
Just the cube.
Just cube.
And then you have the standard version, which is like the little box with the spare screwdriver.
Right.
I haven't looked at it that closely.
You get the stand.
Yeah,
There's no adjustment system like with the Maylong.
yeah, so like, it's just there. And then you have the UV version.
Right.
And it's like, can't we just pick one?
Yeah.
For a Maylong V2, like, I don't know. I just really don't believe in the whole having all these different options is beneficial.
And especially with, there's the RS3M 2020, which is still a really good cube today. And it's, what, $8, $9? And it's, the performance is significantly better than the Maylong. You also get the dual adjustment system, but it's not UV coated, which I think is what Moyu's trying to push. But then again, like if I'm spending $10, I want to maximize the amount of performance I'm getting out of it.
Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know. Let the Maylong be the cheap bare bones.
Right.
Like, don't turn it into something higher end. Let the RS3M line, which that had the whole identity crisis of like going like this.
Jumped up, yeah.
So
nearly jumped the shark.
I don't know. I mean, again, like my marketing services are available if any of these cube factories would like some input, because again, I give it all the time. And look, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it takes up more space on the shelves. The bigger packaging is more expensive to ship. It's just like, I don't know. I could go on and on about it. And I'm really curious what anyone in the comments thinks about the packaging, because it's just like so unnecessary.
I will say, congrats on Moyu for not making like a legitimate new cube in like the span of a week. Like they actually waited a bit of time. Granted, they still could have waited a little bit longer, but
I just really don't know where we're at with the cubing hardware at this point. I mean, the Gen 14 Pro is an interesting one, because I am very much curious. I'm very curious to see is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to work on my, I don't know. I think I picked up a few like language bad habits that, I don't know. Whatever.
Time in Canada is messing you up.
Yeah, that and China. So it's like I'm just all over the place. I'm a very diverse palette. But I don't believe that the 15 needs to come out in a few months. They typically release towards the end of the year, like September. I feel like so much time went on that the 14 Pro could have been the 15.
Right. They could have just called it that.
Or address the fix with the 14 Pro into the 15. Like, it just is like, what's going to happen now? Because, newsflash, to like factories, the economy isn't exactly like the best it ever has been.
Right. And especially
I don't know.
Coming out with a bunch of new cubes and then making these really minor improvements.
Well, I just feel like nobody likes to feel like something that they bought that's new, that's an investment, like a GAN cube is outdated in the span of a few months.
Right.
I mean, funny enough, when I told the story last time, like when I bought this MacBook Pro, which the battery is now like swelling and it may explode at some point, which is a little scary. Yeah. But like,
well, that's why he sits over there. And
exactly. I care about you guys. See?
Right.
The Touch Bar one came out like literally about a month after I got it, and it just was like, it feels bad, but like, I don't know. I kind of blame myself for not like following the release cycle. But at least it's with Apple, you can more or less anticipate like the iPhone. You know, there's gonna be a new iPhone every year. Isn't it September as well?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I barely keep up.
I don't care enough anymore. But the point is, you know when the iPhone cycle is. And it's just, I don't know. It's hard for me because I care about what we sell, and I try to be selective with what we sell and not just push stuff. Like, there have been products that I've not decided to sell because I don't think it's worth it or really has a place. And we actually are one of the few stores that, I mean, sometimes it can be a negative, but like we actually will remove products that I just think do not need to be sold anymore. Like an example would be if I'm looking at 3 Pyraminx and 1 out of the 3 significantly is not moving, or selling or being purchased, and they're all about the same price or the same price, like I will consider removing that third one because who needs that extra option?
And I think you did the same thing with the UFU, the 7x7.
Yeah, like okay, with that one, the black plastic, for whatever the reason, was more popular, which was like a extreme outlier, and the stickers did not stick.
No,
like the adhesive, like you would open up the box, the stickers looked like a mudslide just down the face of the cube, and it's like I told YJ you need better adhesive, and they just would not fix it. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm just not going to sell it anymore.
Right,
and it's like
because that's more money on us to have to swap out the stickers, or try to fix them.
We were sending out whole new sets of stickers to customers, and then. What, we expect a customer who bought a new cube to now spend time de-circling the remainder of the stickers and now reapplying them. Not everyone's a pro at doing stickers.
And especially when some adhesive won't come off and you have to like scrape it.
That's why we have the service, because it's a pain in the butt.
Right.
And then we sold the stickerless one, and that one started having loose magnets. So I'm like, okay, the UFU is going away. It's just, I don't know. Like, I just really think that it's time for some manufacturers to kind of work on refining their quality control. Like one of our number one complaints is people accuse us of selling used products, which we do not do. The only exception to that being an open box mystery item, which isn't always even used.
Right.
And they complain about the scratches, and it's like, I've been to China several times. Depending on the factory and the quality of the cube, here's what happens. You have 5 in a row. Spray lube, spray lube, spray lube, spray lube, spray lube. Or apply the stickers instead of 5, and guess what? When it's ready to go down to the next person to be boxed, they're not going to pick up all 5 and gently hand them. They're going to slide them down the line. Right. And guess what? It's a dusty factory. Hate to break it to you guys, but it's not like a state of the art like. I don't know why iRobot is coming to mind, but like it's not like the whole place is white and there's like not a speck of dirt and everyone's wearing like lab coats and rubber gloves. Like it's a factory in China, which is very common look. So you slide them down the line and it
scratches.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we offer the PVC coating, which fills in the scratches and then does its own thing.
And even when the scratches are like really deep, we try to go into spare parts and we like if we cannot make the scratch like essentially disappear, we totally replace that piece.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. So it's, I don't know. But that's what I mean. I don't even offer PVC coating for like little magics because
well, there's so many issues.
Whoops, just out of Dushin. It's all right. They had it coming. I've been complaining about this for a but like I don't even offer PVC coating for a $5 3x3. Like,
why pay like that much for this?
I mean, that's the thing is like we like to be as inexpensive as possible, but U.S. labor rates and what we try to pay you guys, like it takes money, so I can't have a $5 PVC coating service, and so for $15-20 it just doesn't make sense. But I don't know.
Well, that's kind of like one of the things I like about like them starting to branch out into new cubes, especially with like especially non 3x3 cubes, where with a 3x3 I feel like maybe it's not necessarily laziness, but I feel like when you keep pumping out a 3x3, it's just like, just pump it out as fast as possible. Mistakes get made. But when you release new cubes, like I'm sure with like the GAN 5x5, the one that everyone has been anticipating, they're taking a little bit more time to, maybe like refine it or take better care of it. So you're more likely to get a much better product in the end.
Well, that's the thing too, is you can't compare a GAN 5x5 to like a $12 little magic 5x5. Like, and that's the thing is, it's tough because I don't want to sound like hypocritical to where I only sell things I believe in, but like the problem is for me to not sell like the little magics of the cubing industry or whatever, right? Like you kind of have to, and as much as I don't want to, because of the surface scratches, like the puzzles they do have like redeeming qualities. So like overall, I think it's worth selling. But for people that are new to the cubing community, it just doesn't make sense. And I kind of get it, but I don't know. It's a very complex issue. So yes, that's all I have to say about that.
Well, I mean, that's kind of it for like cubing, like hardware and records.
So I try to like always stay away from store talk, but I'm very passionate about what I do. So it's hard to not do that. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, again, what happens with these records. With the Yihang thing, that kind of seems like it's a developing story, I guess, because the WCA is going to have to address their decision at some point or justify it, which I think that's also, I mean, I'm not a huge sports guy, I'll confess. So, like, I don't know how common it is for a decision to be made and then it to be, like, revisited. I know it has happened or does happen, but, like, yeah, it just, I don't know. I get you have to make a quick decision, but it just is better if you could avoid that.
Well, I think it would be better too. I would rather there be, like, instead of making a quick decision in, like, you know, a few days and then having to revisit it like a while later and be like, oh, maybe this was like, we didn't look into it all the way. I'd rather not have that and have them spend a week, 2 weeks looking into it and coming up with a final decision.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure I could have done any better. So it is what it is. It's not a perfect world that we live in, but just unfortunate, again, that it's even a problem to begin with. So, yeah I don't know. Again, a little bit more of a quiet week in cubing on this last one.
Yeah, a lot more just like...
But a few things that were worth touching on.
A lot more just like records and hardware related.
Yeah, and we do read the comments on all of these. So again, if there's any specific topic or juicy drama that you want us to address, let us know. Probably not going to address the juicy drama, but depending on what it is.
Well, we might reference it, maybe.
Yeah, let us know what's the topic that you want covered, and we'll see what we can do, because we definitely want to keep everybody all in the know. And sounds like it's my cue to go. Yeah. Phone's already starting to ring. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you're still enjoying these, because we enjoy making them.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Bye.
Take care.